morning, welcome back to the garden. Today is Saturday, April 23rd. You know what Saturday means. We're going to do a quick review of this garden, then we're going to go to you and see what's going on in your garden. Obviously, I had to start taking down the coal frames. Wind kind of took this one down a little bit. That's kind of tragic because it busted off one of these beets that was just about to go to seed. Well, that's gardening. We still have 3 or 4 that are really good, doing well. We still have some that are going to produce some pretty good seed. Now, if you're new to my channel, you're in for a treat. Saturday is dedicated to you and what's going on in your garden. But before we get there, let's do a quick review of this garden. And if you remember, we planted a bunch of lettuce and some beets in this row a couple weeks ago. Then we also did carrots under our cardboard. They've all germinated nicely. And then we did a roost stout method. We just scattered beets right over there. We're getting a little germination right here. We've got beets up in the center. The corn hasn't come up yet, and the cowpeas haven't come up yet. But with this wind, let's make sure we got plenty of water on these seeds. While I do that, let's go to you and see what's going on in your garden.
Our sweet potatoes in the water, just now making enough slips. He's about ready to start pulling them off and rooting them. Arch lotus seeds are progressing nicely. Roots are coming out of those. And his lotus rhizome already has a leaf. I did have something to say about the deep mulch.
This is only the second year, and look at this after the deep mulch.
Look forward to seeing what you're going to plant in that deep mulch, Art. Thank you. Scott's tomatoes already got flowered. Beans are coming up. Columbine looks really good. And look at those lotus. The ones you overwintered already have leaves standing outside the water. Scott, I know the participants in this community that are doing lotus are looking forward to having theirs look just as good as yours. Thank you. Vivian, your seedlings are awesome, and your husband did a great job on these raised beds. If you don't mind, I'm going to use this as an example of a question that I received. When is it too early to plant a seedling? Now, everybody's goal in this community is to produce food, and we want to give our plants the best opportunity that they have. These young seedlings, if they were the only thing that you put out, you run the risk of flea beetles or some other kind of predatory insect coming along and chewing on them. You got the weather to contend with as far as wind. I'd let the babies grow just a little bit more. You may even want to up pot them, put them in the next size container. Let those roots get a little more established. I've also been asked several questions about soil, raised beds, compost, and I think the deal is you use what you can get. If you don't have access to a whole bunch of compost, the big box stores have some fine soil that would be just great for raised beds, especially for the first time. Well, I'd suggest everybody use mulch in their raised beds after planting. 1, it'll help hold the moisture. 2, it'll start that cycle of life that you want in the soil. Thank you, Vivian, for allowing me to use your contribution as a tutorial.
Our spinach and collards are doing well. We got just about enough broccoli to make a pretty good mess. I am going to have to take this coal frame down here directly.
Nora's been doing a lot of work in her garden, and her hanging baskets are just beautiful. Thank you, Nora. I think Valerie's winning in the lotus race. And the rest of your container garden, wow. Weather in Texas is treating you fine. This is beautiful. We can't wait to see what happens when things really start to grow. Thank you, Valerie. Walter's got a choice to make. Look at how many volunteer potatoes he had come up when he put his mulch down. Think you're going to have to move that banana plant out of the way to make room for some of your tomatoes. It's also a nice choice of marigolds, Walter. Thank you, and we look forward to you planting out this garden.
Weren't those awesome? Please leave a comment down below and let everybody know how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their garden. And let's go take a look at a couple more.
Bruce, I really thought your star cherries frosted out and weren't going to produce this year. Wow, that looks just delicious. You and Maylin have really done a lot of work. Maylin, what are you going to do with all those onions? Everything else looks just awesome. Bruce, we can't wait to see what happens in your garden when it really starts to grow. Thank you. Keep us posted. This is great. Larry sent along some of the color of his North Carolina garden. And that's some army of workers you got. We can't wait till your vegetables kick in. This is beautiful. Thank you.
Now, if you were here last year when I saved seeds, I did it in this area. And obviously, I let a couple escape. We got some Swiss chard that came up on their own. We took care of them over the winter by covering them with buckets. I think they're going to produce very well this year. If you hit that like button, it will help me bring you more episodes just like this. Before the wind blows me over, let's go take a look at a couple more.
Denise, you're already picking strawberries and you've got herbs drying? And look at those raised beds. Your son's got those done just in the nick of time. Everything else is looking really good. Denise, we can't wait to see this all at full swing. Thank you. Jeremy's small raised bed is doing really well. His strawberries have come back from last year. You already have a tomato set? And your new fruit trees are blooming nicely. Jeremy, thank you for the update. We can't wait to see these beds fill out.
By covering the potato sprouts as it frosted just recently, kept us going pretty well. I forgot to tell you what variety these new leaf tomatoes were. Jet Star. F1 IV. We'll see. The picture shows good full tomatoes on them. Now, I hung beets on this fence to dry last summer, and we got volunteer beets. Has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? So this was a nice surprise this spring. Well, I wanted to thank you for taking a minute out of your day and helping us celebrate what our friends and neighbors are doing in their gardens. And if you want to participate, just email me at waylandsmalley5@gmail.com. The address is in the description box below. And for anybody that would like to do something to help me out, I do have an Amazon link in the description box. I'm not selling you anything, but if you're buying on Amazon and you go through my link, I get a couple cents. That would help me continue to bring you episodes just like this. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.